Hey, let me go back here. Hello, everyone. Hey, welcome to another episode of the .NET Community Stand-Up, focus on .NET and AI. We are going to talk a lot today about what we saw and built last 2 weeks ago. I can't remember. It was crazy days. And I am super happy because I'm out with Alex today. My name is Bruno, cloud advocate of the .NET team and more. Super happy. But hey, Alex, thanks for being here. This is your intro time.
Yeah, thank you for having me. So my name is Alex. I'm based here in Canada, Toronto. I've been an Azure MVP since 2021. I was watching builds since I can remember going into this area of, software development and stuff. I'm the chief software architect at a small AI company called Impro AI. So I do AI stuff daily. And I'm the organizer and founder of the Code Digest, which is a meetup. We focus on coding stuff, showing some code beauty that is usually missed lately. So if you are in the Toronto area and want to jump to a nice coding meetup, you're very welcome.
Yes, and hey, we've been talking about that, and I like the idea because I've never been to your sessions. I need to go there, but I like the format is that we have so many AI frameworks, tools, and more announcements, and sometimes what we literally talk before we start is, hey, we like to have an empty CS file in my scenario, an empty coding, and start code and start to program and talk about coding per se. And of course, the tools helps, frameworks are amazing, AI is great, but coding per se is something that we really like, and we may want to. We were talking about that. If people are interested in just talking about coding, I know that we have other shows that probably cover something like this. We will be happy to see how we can make this happen. And as I said, Alex mentioned this a couple of months ago. I can't remember when you started with this idea. Yeah. I said, yes, we love that. So if someone wants to know more, let us know, and we will give it a try, at least. What do you think, Alex?
I love the idea. I hope it gets to the place that I envision. That's something that I really missed lately from all the presentations and everything. So, for coders, by coders, that's the general idea, having code first sessions. And if we can have as many people to join us, that would be wonderful to share the passion for code.
Yes. But hey, let's switch to today's topic, which is Build 2025. Happened 2 weeks ago. We talk about a lot of things. And as Lou saying, how is everybody feeling after Build? I'm still tired. I'm still processing everything that we have there. But I don't know. The idea today is this is the main collection of links that we are going to talk today and more. I don't know if we are going to see everything here. If someone sees something, by the way, thanks everyone. I see that as I hear also, hey, as I, if someone sees something that you think that we are missing or we should add and more, let us know and I will add it into the collection. But I really want to start with this, which is, hey, right now we can run application doing we can run .NET application doing .NET run and using just a CS file. This is only available for .NET 10. .NET 10 is still in preview. It's going to be announced on November, the formal one. But you can do this. And hey, I really like this. .NET run app.cs. You don't care about having a project. You don't care about having packages. You don't care about, there are ways that you need to do this and you can do that. But I did a lot of, and people probably know this, I did a lot of machine learning in the past, a lot of Python, years of doing that. And I like the flow of developing with an empty text editor, and then you do a .NET run, and that scenario was Python, whatever. And I know that the other platform also have it, but this is great. And I will strongly advise to the people, if you want, Damien did a crazy good, where is the video here? So there is a crazy good 15-minute video. So where he's playing how we get here, what we can do, how we can even go farther, because once you have a file, you can say, hey, this is running. Create a project here, and you start to grow there. So it's amazing. But if you haven't seen this, let me show you this one. So by the way, Alex, have you seen this?
I did. That's just amazing.
I know.
One of the things, as a .NET developer, I used to work with .NET daily. That was my, C# was my main language. And you know how it goes. With time, you lose people to other languages. And the main complaint always was, come on, go to Node.js. All you need is a file and just node and run it. Why do I need all these projects and everything? When I saw this, I was like, yay, people will be coming back.
And it's kind of a process, because we have the top level statements where we lose the namespace, the class, and more. But now we can do something like this. And we have here a super simple console write, hello world, this is Bruno and Alex. So we have this, and the only thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to do .NET, and this is demo CS. So a couple of seconds later, it's going to build. There it is. I know, the hello world, this is Bruno and Alex. So I know this is the crappiest demo ever. But why do I like this? Because I like to code. I really like to be here, in example, with my Copilot extension helping me and more. And the way that I test this, the way I like to use this, is, in example, I created this, which is probably the laziest demo ever, but this implements a couple of things that you can use right now, and this is close to AI. So I have one video somewhere there where I explain that I use local models to generate the text description for images. Why? Because when you post in LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever, it's always nice to have the description for the images. And if we have an AI, the AI can help, can do the description. So what I have right now here, it's literally 20 lines of code, it's 21, where I pass an image here to this project, to this, not the project, sorry, to this file. This is a CS file. I am going to use Olama Sharp, a library. This is the way that we add packages here. And then I'm going to create a client. I have Olama running in Docker here. Let me see if it's up and running. Should be. There it is. So I have Olama running in Docker. And then what I am going to do, I am going to read the file that came from the arguments. So super easy. And then I am going to send it to the local model. I'm using Gemma 3 to test, but you can use Llama 3.2, 5.4 Vision with Onyx, whatever you want here. I am going to generate the description for this one. So in example, if I pick up this, which is a photo that I use a lot of Goku, my cat, and Ace in the back, I can run something like this. Let me open this one again. And I can do something clear, and a .NET run alt text, and this is pets music. And of course, this is running locally, so it's going to take some time, but it's going to give me the alt text of, once again, this is the photo. And if let me see if I have Olama running.
So the first line in the alt text, this is basically getting the, oh, I see it already, yes.
Yes.
And the first line in the text, in the alt text, yes, this is the package that you use, right? That's the...
This is the way
That's
that
amazing.
we add packages, because we have this package idea that we still need to add reference and package and more. And again, there is lots happening here. Damian explained this very, very good in his video from build. So take a look at the description, go to the video and see what we can do, because I like to do this. I like is, and by the way, this is the description, a close-up perspective shot of a great tabby cat, and it works, and it works local. I like it. It's fine. But I really like, this is go back what we've just been talking. This is coding. I basically write this from scratch in probably a couple of minutes, and it works, and it's here, and more. And I like this flow of creating an empty file and start to write code. Another example that I did is we presented, I don't know if it was on build or later, but now we have Sora videos. We can use the video generation models from OpenAI in Azure. And there is a lot of documentations here about what we can do, how we can generate, and more. But the main, sorry, let me zoom this a little. the main sample that we have here is a Python sample, because by the way, by default, all of our friends, usually in these scenarios, they write this in Python. So this is a Jupyter notebook, which is great and amazing, but I say, hey, I can code this, so I can try to code this in C# with a couple of lines. So I basically pick up the same code that they have there, and I start to see if I can create that. So I will say, by the way, this is all, I'm going to share the links for this, but this is all in the generative AI repository. But we have here is literally the same. We are going to read, I didn't even know that this library existed, but GitHub Copilot says, hey, if you want to use your .env files in the same ways that Python does, we have .NET env 3 something library that literally do the same. I use this with user secrets, but because we don't have projects here, we don't have user secrets. So this is a way to do it. Or you can read environment variables and more, but I get my endpoint, my key, validate both of those, and then start to write something. And then I have my Sora creation, which is literally performing a HTTP call here. We are going to, I think it's a post, I can't remember. Yes, we do a post first, and then we start to get kind of a job ID, and we iterate in the job ID, getting the status of the job ID, and at the end, when we have the video succeed, what I am going to do, I am going to download the video, copy to the desktop, and then we have the video generated there. And again, I basically code this while I was side by side taking a look at the notepad. It was great. Copilot helped a lot because a couple of things I didn't want to do. I also say, hey, Copilot, fix this. So Copilot added a lot of try catch and a lot of get exceptions and more. So I have a lot of help here, but this is nice because I can really test this. So I don't know, somewhere here I have my prompt, and I put something like 2 puppies playing soccer in the moon. What do you like for a single 5 seconds video?
2 puppies playing soccer in the moon, using a cartoon style of Family Guy. I like Family Guy. Let's make it a Family Guy cartoon style.
Cartoon style, like Family Guy. I don't know if
Yes.
it's okay. Let's give it a try.
No.
Copilot is getting bold here. With
Yeah,
4K.
no. 4K will be sitting here till tomorrow.
4K, we need to join the next streaming and more. So no, that's it. Let me go to my terminal. And this is the beauty of this. I mean, I can do .NET run Sora. This is how you know that we are doing this live. So .NET run Sora, yes, don't care about the warnings and more. So this is the request. Actually, going to start this pre-processing. I think the first time it takes some time because it's kind of warm up stuff on the cloud. So it's running right now, but it usually takes 20 seconds or so in my test, and we are going to have the video. I'm going to open the video here. There it is. So the video is in my desktop, and let me open the video so we can take a look at Sora videos. Okay, not a lot of Family Guy, and also I think we can write a better prompt. This is very
cool,
very bad. But again, what I like about this is that I write this as a testing, whatever, and then .NET run. Didn't need to create a project, didn't need to add reference, didn't need to do that, a lot of things. And as a starting point for testing, learning, and more, in the personal side, I like this flow. I like this .NET run. I don't know. Are you planning to use it? And by the way, I remember before answering the question, sorry, Alex, remember, this is only available in .NET 10, which is in preview right now. So it's kind of, we need to be aware of that. And Johnny said .NET 10. Yes, that was a nice surprise for me also. I am not going to open the .NET, the .env file, because I don't want you to see all of my keys and more. But this is a nice package to have this, because give you kind of a side-by-side flow format like Impact. But sorry, Alex, any thoughts about this? Are you planning to use it?
I am planning to get back to C# specifically with that. So I've been using a lot of other things right now. Again, just to run some scripts, just to test, because how AI is advancing so fast. You either have, a folder with 50 new projects in C# and 50 new solutions, or you go to other solutions that you can have with just running a file. This makes me super happy because I'll be able to actually test stuff with C# without over creating things. And I don't know, I'm super excited about it. I can't wait to start using C# again for like a daily tests.
Yes, and what I like is an example. If we go here, one of the announcements that we have is that we have a lot of Microsoft extension AI. Now they are generally available. They've been in preview for a year, I think, or so. I don't know. I need to check with Luis. But we have right now the whole stack of Microsoft extension AI kind of ready to go. It's GA, so let's burn it. Let's use it and more. And I like it. And sometimes, even if the code samples are fine, let me show here so you can take a look here how you can create a chat client using Olama or using Azure OpenAI, and then added embedding and more and more and more. Using .NET Run, I can test this in seconds. Like in example, I
copy paste it,
where I have literally, once again my Olama model, using Olama with my models here, and then I have a prompt here, and I will say, hey, Copilot, you do your magic, and I will start to implement this with Copilot chat. I don't even know if this is going to work. Let's add the message. I think
let's try it.
So, hey, somehow it did something. And if I want to test this one more time, and again, I basically did I probably used agent mode and more, but I did .NET Run. This is smart CSS. Let's see if it's working or not. But basically, it's reading a feed and then getting the last. Oh, it's not printing something.
Save the file.
Yeah, so there was something wrong here or more. But hey, we can start to play with this.
Just save it. Control S to save the file.
Oh, yes.
Yep. Let's try it again.
And then we are going to have some errors. There it is.
Errors are good.
But this is how I like to do things, because I know here, okay, I need to do my using and probably do something like this. Okay, using control extension AI, and the content, probably not content. It's going to, this is how I like to do. And then and again, it's all depend on your flow and more. Then .NET Run, and you start to do and learn and do more. I don't know. I like this flow of coding where you have just a single file, a couple of lines of code there, and then you are started to fix it. By the way, I'm not going to fix this because we are going to spend the next 40 minutes just fixing this. It's just one of the ideas. But once again, if it's not AI specifically related, I think that when you are testing, learning, or more, this feature is amazing. That's why it's probably in the top of the list here. By the way, there is no list here, but this is the one that the first one that I add was this one. That's it.
That's a good starter.
Yeah, sorry, please.
That's a really good starter, because I really do believe that starting with this right now, this is going to give the push that's needed to push the common SDKs that are now used in .NET, all the new stuff. Again, testing in C#, the new code and new stuff will be much easier now. Just copy paste any example you can see in any CS file, just like for the packages that you need, and run it, test it. That's amazing.
Yes, I like it. And hey, by the way, you bring me here because I literally miss, or not, like, I knew a couple of things, but I missed the whole Azure Functions announcement. And oh my God, this blog post is amazing, because there are a lot of things here.
Yeah. And I don't think we can go over all of them, because there are actually a lot. Some of the things that really great to note. So there is some playing around with agents service in AI Foundry for Azure Functions. It's not specifically related to .NET, but my hopes that it will be at some point also.
And yes, I like this now that you mentioned, because we can see here that there is the integration with agent services and more. coming soon, I will say here, coming soon.
Yes.
But hey, this is the moment that we can basically do something, write something to cover this space and start to use it if we want. But yes, there is a lot of things happen between functions, agent service, and more.
Yeah, and this is amazing just to run functions, to create Azure functions as your tools for your agent. So great to explore right now. I'm pretty sure in the future it will be more languages as well. One of the things that I got super excited about, and actually I did a demo about it not so long ago. Not a successful demo, but a demo. So it was because it was live, so not everything works all the time. But you can have an MCP server that is fully operated by Azure Functions, abstracting everything from you because you usually don't care about it. And all you do is you just create, the different tools that you're going to use with your MCP server. And you have a bunch of languages that supports, obviously C# as well. And all you do is just create the tools. Then you can run it locally or even upload it to Azure and run it as a remote MCP server. And it just works just like any other Azure function. You create, the code, you provide the proper wrapper around it with the description of your tool, the name of the tool. I cannot simplify it more. It's really simple. That's all you need to run it.
So that's to double check if I understand. This is basically you create an Azure function and you add some decorators in the function. And when the function is published or running, it's also going to have the decorator as it was an MCP server. That's kind of it?
Yes, exactly. So instead of having, let's say you have HTTP triggers usually, and once you run, you can see HTTP trigger get and your URL, right? The name of the function. With MCP, you will just have, it's a different trigger. Yes. You'll see MCP trigger and the name you gave it, and that's it. You have your endpoint, which you connect to like an MCP server, remote one, using SSE. And that's it. Your MCP server is ready for you to run and integrate to it.
Hey, I like it because as far as I remember, I was playing around a lot with the C# SDK for MCP. And that's when I learned. I learned by playing around. As far as I remember, I know that there are more, but the two main endpoints that we have when we have a server are the server-side event, the /SSE, and also the messages. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of a conversation between, and now they have also real time, they have security, they have more. So I'm guessing that when you decorate your function, it will automatically publish your functionality in the SSE and then handle the message. You don't need to do anything. Your function is just a function.
Exactly. You don't need to do anything. So in C#, as you can see, you need to mark it in the host file. You just mark it as MCP. You give your instructions and stuff like that. And it will, behind the scenes, it will also provide the endpoints for the actual server, because you need to say, okay, what is the discovery of my tools and what changed from last time that you changed, all the good stuff that comes with running an MCP server. But everything handled for you. All you need to do is just create the tools. That's it.
I like it because also I'm guessing, and correct me if I'm wrong, keep me honest here, out of the box, we will also have everything that we already know and like about functions, like security, scalability, load balance. So
exactly, yes.
But adding the MCP, that's cool. I mean, I kind of knew something about this, but I didn't connect the dots of what this was here. I like it. This is cool. I need to, and I know that also we have Aspire somewhere here, and we are going to talk a little about Aspire. But I also know that now Aspire can also support functions. So it will be nice if when we are a function project to Aspire orchestration, we also have the chance to say, hey, you know what? This function is going to be also an MCP function.
I did not know that, and it's going to be amazing if that's the case. That could be really cool.
So, hey, that's cool. That's cool. And as I said, when you share this with me, I start to see that there are a lot of things here. Like, I don't know, anyone else that you want to talk about you?
There are two things that I'd like to actually put the attention on. So the Azure OpenAI trigger and binding. So it was in a preview. Again, it was in preview for a very long time. Now it's updated. And that is super cool. It's not for live conversation. You can use it, obviously, for live conversation. But the main idea is that if you have some OpenAI data that you need to extract. Let's say you have a prompt and you want to say, hey, write me a cool message to write to, let's say, to Bruno or something, right? So you can have an actual endpoint with the regular Azure Functions binding, but it will be bound to OpenAI. And you can get completion to chat completion, just to anything just like that, which works with binding data. So you can pass parameters by query and so on. But that's like the simple scenario. Okay. You can have vector stores there. You can embed data into it, and everything is handled for you. So it breaks it down to chunks, and you can then ask information about it. And all you need to do is just create bindings, just like regular Azure Functions.
Oh, that's
an
cool.
Amazing thing. Yes.
That's cool, because you basically, I'm thinking mostly in example in the embedding part, when we want to do the chunking and embeddings and more.
Yeah.
If it automates that part, I am going to save a couple of lines of code, but I'm going to save a couple of lines of code. That's very good. I mean, it's going to be handled automatically for me, and then the function can do their stuff. Oh, this is completely new for me. And I understand that if you can even want to go further, you can say that, hey, the vector will be in Search or in Cosmos DB or
exactly.
For Mongo or for... That's super cool.
Just like any other thing you do with Azure Functions,
yeah.
It starts and ends with how you create the binding and how you configure it. Once you create this configuration, everything is handled for you. You don't care about it. You just do the actual logic, not the setup part, like, the boilerplate part. You just do the logic. You get everything from the bindings and triggers, and that's it.
Hey, that's cool. And again, what I think is that because we moved to this space where we try to take advantage of all of the connected services and more, if I know I am working with Cosmos for Mongo, in example, Cosmos DB, and I have everything there, if the function is basically doing everything for me, let's go for it. It's already there. I just enable this, have the functionality, have everything, and more. I will probably need to give this a try also, because I think it's something that will save a lot of time. And of course, it's Azure OpenAI. So once again, everything that we like and know about Azure, scalability, security, enterprise security, and more is always there. It's cool. I haven't read this one. Probably need to go deep on this one. And okay,
strongly suggested. Yes.
It's supported. We have here the actions, assistance history, red text embedded. Oh, that's cool. We start the session with the package, and then the magic happens.
Yeah. Just connect to the OpenAI with your, connection string, just as regularly you do, and that's it.
Okay, and
super easy.
The endpoint, the client ID, the credential. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that
as you would expect,
manage identity. That's fine. We don't need to, we don't need the API key anywhere.
Exactly.
I love this. Hey, I will probably give this a try and try to create one of our eShop little demo with this, because I think it's a very good scenario to say, if you don't want to code and everything there, this will save time and also give you everything there. Cool.
Yeah. And last thing, well, obviously you have the flex consumption, which is super cool, but
yes, and we have tons of new regions here. Super cool.
Exactly. A lot of technical stuff, which is very interesting. But if you scroll, I think it's all the way down, if I remember correctly, which is
go for the SQL?
Durable functions, actually. For where was it? I think it's you can have the Azure SQL triggers as well, which is cool. But just for the sake of not grabbing all the valuable time for us today, so we have I think it's even further down. I think it's one of the last items here, which is weird to me because it's one of the most exciting things. There we go. Durable functions. So there is the new durable function v3 in Azure Functions, which uses the latest .NET framework and all the good stuff. But the durable task scheduler, that's the really cool stuff, in my opinion. And the idea is, obviously, once you go serverless, it's very hard to keep state.
Yes.
Because you are serverless, you don't have state. You start, you end your request. That's about it. But you do need state sometimes, right? So the way that from the beginning, how it was working is durable extensions and durable functions, which basically manage your entire state on the storage account that comes with the Azure function. and it has a bunch of logic and everything. Me and the friend even tried to make some monitoring capabilities on top of it to make sure that we can actually see what's going on with your durable execution. But now there is this new way of handling your state. It's basically for the code, it will stay the same. Not talking. Can you jump back one tab? Yeah, the next one, the durable task scheduler. This one. Yes, that's the one. It is a managed backend for durable functions, which theoretically should be faster than running it on a dedicated SQL server, Cosmos, or storage account. And it has its own dedicated UI to help you understand in what state your execution or orchestration is right now. Everything in a visual way, and you can see here in the screenshot, you can actually see how long every orchestration took and how it's breaking down to activities and stuff like that. I think that's going to be amazing. I plan to try it during this weekend. That's like for my weekend activities to do. And one of the cool things that you can actually use, not specifically the task scheduler, but as durable functions as an idea, you can use it for AI workflows when you have a human in the loop to stop the execution.
Okay.
And let's say provide information to the human in the loop and say, hey, do you want to approve it or change it and so on? Because orchestrations have this ability to generate a URL which you can go to, and it will say, okay, continue this orchestration, like human approval.
So you have what we are talking a lot today, which is agent to Bruno.
To Bruno,
to agent, your whatever, and there is the human in the loop, Bruno in the loop in this case. But I like it. To be honest with you, I have a high level idea of what the durable functions are. I think I know how they work. I never use it, but I really like these type of sentences. That hey, we have a new something here. It is designed to address the challenge and gaps identified by our customers. Because yes, we are listening. We are trying to bring things, and based on what you told me, this is something that we needed, and I need to give it a try. I need to see one of your sessions where you're doing the functions demos and more to learn about this.
You're always welcome.
Super cool. And I haven't read this because I stopped here before with the what is this? The trigger, the SQL triggers with functions. I say, oh my God, I know triggers and SQL in the past. People did crazy with that. We are going to see amazing things with this. So there seems to be, again, this is the link here in the collection for where are the functions? The functions. Give this a try because, read it if you are into functions, because there are so many new things there that I really, really encourage everybody to. If you are using functions or you're new in serverless, there is a lot of stuff that we have. So I'm going to literally jump to the other side. This is something that, do you know CSnakes?
I saw the demo. It was amazing. I never tried it, obviously, but that's amazing.
So, long story short, I will advise everybody to watch this. This
Absolutely.
is Anthony Shaw, a Python cloud advocate, and Scott Hanselman talking about CSnakes. I'm going to show CSnakes is better showing that doing more, but the whole idea of CSnakes, and by the way, Anthony tells this in an amazing way during the how we get here, how do we create this and more. And the whole idea of CSnakes is how we can bring, and Janice is mentioning here, yes, CSnakes is amazing. How we can reuse Python libraries, code, and more from the .NET ecosystem. And Anthony is going to watch this later. He lives in Australia, and he's going to hate me because this is going to be the worst explanation of CSnakes ever, but I really, really like it. I use it CSnakes the first time. I'm saying Jesus here that, hey, Jesus, thanks for stopping by. You're amazing. Azure SQL has triggered like SQL Server now. Yes, I don't know. Yes or no? I saw
no.
trigger.
It's the Azure function triggers.
Yes.
So the idea is that it's similar, but the idea is that you run code once something happens on your Azure SQL server. It's a whole new world.
Functions code. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I close it.
Yes. You run your serverless Azure code.
Yes. So it's kind of the standard SQL triggers, but everything on the cloud. So it makes sense that what you are going to run on the cloud is going to be Azure functions.
Yes, exactly.
But going back here, again, if you want to know more about CSnakes, watch Anthony and Scott's video because they explain how they get here and more. But the whole idea is that if you want to use CSnakes, you basically, the only thing that you need to do is you need to add a dependency into your project. Very simple dependency, which is called CSnakes, the runtime. There it is. And then you can basically pick up any Python code that you have here. We have literally a function called coolthings that has an input with a list of strings and is going to return a list of strings also. But when you embed this into your project, and there are a couple of foundational things that you need to do, like an example here, you need to mark this file like a C# analyzer file. What is going to happen is when you save your project or solution, the project will generate kind of a wrapper internally for this, and we are going to be able to call this function from .NET. And there is a lot of things happening here, like an example, this is not just creating, and I've seen this in the past, and I did this in the past. This is creating two instances running or whatever and calling between of them. This is literally calling the the Python functions here using kind of a Python APIs, language APIs that they have there. Once again, Anton explained this very well. But the whole idea, if we want to use this, what we need to do is we need to create an application builder in this example, and then we need to add Python. This is what CSnakes is going to bring us. So we add Python, we define where is our directory, and then we define which is the distributor that we want to do, what we want to use. And by the way, if you are running this on, or you want to use it with Conda, you have their Conda environment, you have pip. If you want to run your requirements txt extension, you can run this in the virtual environment, we install Conda for the Windows Store, and you also have here from NuGet to install this. There is one from Apple. I don't know if I have it here. If you are running in a Mac, you can also run this from a Mac. So this will automatically install kind of a Python environment for you. And after this, you can ask for the Python environment. And then the environment will have my AOT demo that we have here. This is the name of the file. And remember that we have a function coolthings that is also shown here in the Markdown. So it's also translates the Python naming whatever to the C# naming whatever. And this is going to show our values. So if I run this, let's see, where is my console application going to? There it is. It's going to run. It's going to take some time the first time because it's going to initialize the Python environment. But there it is. Python is cool. C# is cool. If I go back here and let's do what is the JavaScript and Rust. Let's do a couple more. Go, Swift, Kotlin. Okay, so Copilot is going crazy. Let's stop at Kotlin. And if I run this again, of course, what we are going to have is all of this. And if I, as they did here, if I add here new language, I do the string of new language. See, what is the way to fix this? If I add a parameter here, I'm not going to do it, and I put it here, I will also have this available in my C# code. So this is crazy, crazy cool. And as I said, what I really like about this is that, and by the way, cool things right now, it will require a new Py object because I didn't define the type there. So, that's a great question. Do this use your local Python install? Yes, one of the options here, if you can, I don't know if I have it here, you can say, I don't know, I don't have it here. I think I need to add another variable, but you can basically say that you can use your virtual, if you haven't Python installed, it should probably have in Windows, an environment variable with Python is going to reuse this. You can also install this on a virtual environment. So it will reuse your Python install. You don't need to have Python installed. It will install it for you. And by the way, it's going to install it once and then it's going to reuse it. Or how it's going to basically figure out everything, so you don't need to think about installing Python, which I really, really like. But what I really, really like about this is that with this in mind, Anthony went a step further and said, you know what? I will bring, this is somewhere here, as again, we have a lot of stuff here. I will bring all of the power of Hugging Face models. By the way, let me go here. So if I go Hugging Face, I'm guessing that everybody here, most of the people here, we should know this, but Hugging Face is kind of the GitHub for AI models. So there are there are more than a million models here available. And every time that you want to, I don't know, let's go to models. Let's pick up DeepSeek. So every time that you want to use a model and more, usually the samples that we have, I pick one that is not going to have this. The samples that we have are usually in Python. So, okay, of course, this is Murphy's Law. So the one that I pick, it doesn't have a Python code. But there are a couple of libraries that are being used here that basically are in Python and allows you to work with all of these models that we have here. So what Anthony did is he picked up all of those transformers and other extensions that they have and created, using CSnakes, kind of a library that allows you to do a lot of this stuff. So we can, let me open the documentation here. So we can use the pre-trained tokenersed base, which is a super popular library that we have there, and start to cover scenarios that allows us to do text translation, text classification, image classification, object detection, some audio stuff, and more. It's all there. So we can see how you can use it. And we have some documentations and more. So here, this is the sample that Anthony created. Let me close this. What we have is a demo. This is a Aspire demo. What we have here is a backend, which is an API service. And we have a front end, which is a Blazor application that uses the backend. And these two are going to basically do a couple of things like doing object detection in images and doing audio detection. And if we take a look at the API is using the transformers here and is creating two pipelines to do object detection and to do speech to text. And the models that they're using here are popular models in Hugging Face. In this case, is the ResNet 50. So if I go here to Hugging Face and I search for this model, we will see there it is. It's a super popular model. There is some place that we have here. Meta has 6,000 followers. There are almost 900 people who like this model. And of course, somewhere here, we have the Python sample of how to do this. So with CSnakes and the transformers, what we basically have is the chance to run the same demo there. So let's give this a try. And I'm also going to talk a little, because this takes some time to run. I think I should have the model up and running somewhere there. Where is my model? Okay, I have the console here, and I should have there it is. And I have here my Aspire, my Aspire dashboard working. By the way, this is Aspire. This is from the latest version. So we know that we have a front end that calls the back end. We have Copilot here. This is one of the coolest announcements that we also had at Build, that we open source the GitHub Copilot chat for Visual Studio Code. So everybody can access the code and see how Copilot works there and more. And I'm guessing that we're going to start to see more and more implementations of people adding Copilot to understand what is happening and more in application. Aspire 9.3 is one of the samples. So let me show you this up and running. So let's go to the console. It's already running. Let's go to the resources. This is the application. And by default, we have a URL with an image here. And if we do detect, what is going to happen is going to pick up the model locally, pick up the image, perform the analysis, and I am showing the image here with the boundaries, with the bounding box here about this. If you're wondering how this works, it's very, very easy. If we go here, let me see this. If we go here to the transformer sharp, at the beginning, the transformer sharp is going to set up the environment. And remember that we talk about how do I get my Python environment if I already have it, or my virtual environment and more. So it's going to try to figure out if you already have your environment installed or not. It's going to start these dependencies. This is Python libraries, transformers, sensing transformers, touch, pillow, team, edge, and more. And then it's going to do this. Use the path that you have or the virtual environment that you have. Run with UV installer, which is new for me because I am a big person. But UV seems to be more popular. I don't know. Are you familiar with UV, Alex?
Not really, actually. No.
I don't know.
That's the part I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, so it's basically figuring out a lot of things, and then from the package to install this. And once it has installed, everything is there. It's going to create your environment, and you have everything there. And we have here the original set of files. So we have the sensor transformers, everything that we define later. And then we have the pipelines, the object detection pipeline, which is going to basically do the same using the transformer environment pipeline with all of the stuff that we have here. And this is great from a couple of, I really like this for a couple of ways. First of all, this is a super easy way. If you go to Hugging Face and you find a model that you like and you want to test it, and you in .NET, and you don't have a library to test this, and usually what we do here is we filter by Onyx models and more, and we test this, or if they are supported by Olama, we also use Olama, but if they are not in Olama, not Onyx, this is a great way to test the model and to use a model in .NET. So it's opened the door to do a lot of things. Also, the code is very, very simple. Let me go here. You basically said create an object detection pipeline with the name of the model, and that's it. Internally, it's going to download the model, have the model in a cache. You are going to see a lot of things happening in the back, but you don't need to take care about everything. And hey, it kind of works. It kind of have everything here. And the third thing that I really, really like, and this is not Transformer, is that here we have Copilot. If I go to the traces, in example, and I pick this one, I can go and Copilot and say, hey, Copilot, analyze this trace. And this trace is a very simple trace where we have the front end that calls the back end. That's it. But Copilot, because we use an AI and we use a super cool model here, is going to say, hey, this is what's happened here. This is the resources that were involved. This is the time that we have here. This is the logs that we have and more. So the trace is going to happen with no error warnings. I can start to ask questions, example, is there any AI stuff use here? Probably better way to ask the question, but this is Copilot. So say, no, there seems to be no AI or machine learning operations here because we are just calling a name, API service, but maybe is go a step farther and say, hey, the name is Transformer Sharp Demo, which suggests it may be related to AI. Probably so this is the power of Copilot in Aspire. And when you are orchestrating stuff with Aspire, it really, really helps. And this is probably the worst demo ever for this. But I like how even if you are not calling a Azure OpenAI endpoint where it's going to say, yes, you are using AI here, based on the name of the whole solution, say, yes, you are maybe probably using AI there. So I don't know what you think. I'm going to take a look at the comments, but any thoughts on this, Alex?
Well, the demo of the Copilot in Inspire is always cool, regardless of how much data you have. That's really cool. One of the things when I watched the video about the CSnakes, I'm not huge on Python. I never actually did like something big with Python. But the fact that you can actually bring now your Python code to C#, it's really cool. But one of the things that really made me this aha moment of the entire conversation they had, when I was thinking, okay, so great, they have Python, they have like a .NET process running. What's the big deal? There is like in between process conversation. That's it. What's the innovation here? And no, you do not have a Python process running in parallel to .NET. That's inside of your .NET application. And this
don't
part,
have Process Explorer installed. Why do I don't have
Process
it?
Explorer.
I have the suite. Okay, I'm not going to deal with that. Yes, but I know what you mean.
Watch the video. Watch the video. That's
Watch the video.
explained amazingly.
I think it was Scott Hanselman, who opened Process Explorer and showed that in the current instance of the console demo, the very simple one that we showed at the beginning, you have .NET libraries, you have CSnakes libraries, you are running some DLLs, but you are not running Python.exe, which was the key point. And yes, you are right. There is no in-process conversation, which is huge.
Yes. It's huge. It's amazing. It allows for a lot of different scenarios. As you mentioned, you don't even have to have Python installed on your machine because it's running inside your .NET process anyway. So that's the part that took me like saying, wow, that's amazing. And yeah, definitely. If I can just now go to Hugging Face, grab some piece of Python code and just run it in my C# application, great. What else can I ask for?
Yes. So in example, the first time that I use it in C# was to use this library, because this is a Python library. Call it Markitdown. And it basically allows you to convert all of these type of files, PDF, PowerPoint, Excel, Word, yada, from the original format to Markdown, which is a super useful way when you are doing embeddings and more. If you transform any content to Markdown, then you can have the chunks, and then you can store it and more. And in .NET, we have super cool libraries to do PDF. I found a couple very good to do PowerPoint and Word. These I use using basically OCR and more. So you need to put a lot of moving pieces here. But hey, I didn't even know that now they are doing YouTube also, Markitdown. That's cool. So I created a wrapper, literally 20 lines of code to this library, for this library, using CSnakes. And it was amazing. Now I have all of the power of this library in .NET to do a lot of super cool things. And this was some time ago. And hey, oh my God, we have an MCP server available right now. Someone is asking question about, can we use MCP and A2A? Yes, there was a lot of announcements during build about a lot of MCP and more. We literally, Alex showed us one of the Azure functions, new announced features was to decorate and use it as an MCP server, the functions and more. So yes, there was a lot of stuff there. But hey, I like to have this Python and C# side by side, that we can do stuff together, because it's very, very powerful. And once again, it's all came back here to the CSnakes project. Give it a try. I will say, if you have something like that Python needs to be in .NET, give it a try. And because in AI, we have a lot of stuff in Python, this is a great way to bring everything there, use it in .NET with no overhead, very, very short overhead of whatever we need to do there. And I don't know, I like it. And of course, we don't have time to cover everything. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Hey, Danny is yes, going back to Spider-Man, going back to Marvel. It's always nice, but yes, don't get crazy here and learn your stuff. RPS asking, is the wrapper from Hugging Face? No, it uses the Hugging Face libraries. You can use the Hugging Face Python library if you want, because you can use it in Python, then in .NET. What Anthony did here with Transformer Sharp is one level up. It's basically transform a set of libraries, so you don't need to think about Hugging Face library, you are going to have it there. By the way, as far as I remember, he also supports somewhere here, not this one, somewhere here, can't remember where. He also supports, if you have him, because in Hugging Face, you can also have a key and use environments. So somewhere here, you can even also log into Hugging Face. Can't remember how, but there is somewhere there, if you want to use your Hugging Face account to use the environments, you can also have it there. So again, I need to give this another look to see what we have. And hey, we are at the end. We only have a couple more minutes. By the way, all of the demos that we see, everything should be here. I have in the list also one that I really, really like. That, where is this? The multi-agent orchestration for semantic kernel. We have a demo there. Also, Copilot with Visual Studio. I'm sorry, GitHub Copilot Agentic, which is crazy good. Give this a try. This is just, for this one, we can do just a full episode of that because it's changed the way that we are working. But I don't know, there are so many things to cover. And I know that we are not going to have time to cover anything else. Alex, we are getting to the end of the hour. Anything else that you want to share? Did we want to talk about something else? I will make co-digest online whatever happened. Let's
do this.
Put a pin on that. I don't know. Anything else? Any last word? Oh my God, that's
go explore the videos. Seriously, this the list that you just showed. It's an amazing source of information. There are a bunch of videos there if you don't like to read stuff. A bunch of videos of people just geeking out about cool technology, which is always my favorite type of videos. And a bunch of crazy AI announcements lately. So try to keep up. It's hard lately, but totally worth it.
It's super hard. It's crazy how things are coming. But at the same time, I appreciate that we have what you mentioned, that running NCP with Azure Functions, because it's literally help us to one click. And we have NCP who seems to be everywhere right now with the functions. So help us to connect the dots. The CSnakes is also another example of, hey, reuse, relearn, focus on there is something working in Python, bring it to .NET and reuse it there. Don't wait for this or that. So there is a lot of things also happening that we need to learn to adapt to move forward. So I will say thanks to everyone. I will invite you to see, I don't know what we are going to talk in the next 2 weeks. I have a couple of topics in the table, but let us know in the comments if you want to have a specific topic to be covered. And once again, Alex, thanks a lot.
Thank you for having me. I had a lot of fun.
Okay, goodbye, everyone.